I'm here with Dave Gruber, ESG Senior Analyst for User Protection, which means endpoint security, application security, and email security. And Dave, I understand you're going to be fielding a new study around email security. And hey, email security has been around a little while. So what's new? What's happening? Sort of why the resurgence in email security again?
Yeah, a lot going on in email, of course, with the continued pounding that organizations are experiencing every day with phishing-related attacks, credential theft, business email compromise. These issues have led to so many breaches, so many compromises in organizations, that email is an important aspect of security today. Not that it hasn't been for a long time, but it's really elevated its place in the stack now, and people are thinking differently about it.
I mean, it's really the front door, is the way I sort of
It's totally
just
the
think
front
about
door.
the metaphor, right?
Yeah.
And the adversary is always going after the soft spot. And unfortunately, human gullibility is often that soft spot that gets exploited.
It is, and there's so much talk about the sort of human vulnerability aspect of this thing. Yet there's a tremendous amount of investment in automation to prevent the detection and remediation of these types of attacks that are going on today. We've seen a number of new companies enter the marketplace around this. Many of the established vendors are also playing a really key role in sort of changing the face of email security. So it's time to take another hard look about how buyers are perceiving, one, the issues, whether they believe that these issues can be overcome through technology and other services-based solutions, and then, and three, what people's intentions are looking like over the next 12 to 18 or 24 months.
Yeah, no question. Hey, so one of the big changes, of course, on email security or in the industry in general is adoption of cloud services and the movement of on-prem email servers, Exchange, even some people finally getting off the Lotus Notes and consuming email as a service. So Office 365, Gmail. How's that going to factor into your research?
So we've done some preliminary research earlier this summer, and which reinforced what we believe to be true already, which was that move is well underway, and we're almost at a break-even point where over 50% of organizations are already there. They're already in a cloud-delivered email scenario, with many more planned to get there in the next 12 to 18 months. So it's a predominant trend in the industry now. And with that trend, the security control aspect of this is a big question. And how people are employing security controls from native email security providers or third-party providers along the way as well. So we want to dig in and find out, what is people's perspective? Do they believe that the third-party email providers are going to deliver the kind of controls that they need? How much are people paying attention? And then where do third-party controls fit in?
Yeah, you bet. And there's a discussion, if not a debate, in the email security market around implementation architecture, right? Sort of moving from traditional SEG in the middle to API-based or maybe even multi-mode. So imagine we'll also sort of instrument the market on the understanding and perceive sort of value in the use cases that those different implementations enable.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially so with the cloud-delivered model, the API-based approach is becoming a really important piece of the equation here, and even all the traditional SEG players need to fit into the cloud-based world, so they need an ability to connect into Office 365 and G Suite as well.
Right, you bet. Hey, so last question for you, Dave.
Yeah.
You recently joined ESG from Carbon Black, where you ran product marketing. So you ran marketing programs. So through that lens, how should a campaign manager or a product marketer, or even a product manager, think about leveraging the data and the key findings that's going to come out of this research?
I'm glad you asked that question. For years and years, some of the best performing assets that I've utilized have always been heavy data-driven assets with fresh market data that reflects what people are actually thinking, doing, believing in right now. This is the kind of data that once we pull this research together, that we get out of sort of the hard data facts, and we boil that up to a level where you can make some really key statements that back up the capabilities of net new offerings. And so that's data that shows up in videos like this, where we can clarify an opportunity with a specific statistic. It shows up in papers, it shows up in infographics and instagraphics, quick images on social media. These are the attention grabbers that
Top of
get your
funnel.
buying audience to look at, like, I want to know more.
You bet. Buyer perspective.
Buyer
Peer-level
perspective,
insight.
you got it.
Absolutely. So we're ready to get feedback from vendors in the market at large on the study.
We are.
And so next step should be to reach out to you to
reach out
schedule
to
time.
me. I have a perspective that's written. I'd be happy to send that out to people who are interested.
Great.
Set some time up and walk through the prospectus, and then get people's feedback too. I'm also very interested in other additional gaps, questions that I'm not asking that are of importance to others.
You bet.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for listening.